Mic check, mic check. Okay.
Okay, all goods.
Okay, so hello everyone. I'll be presenting my data project for today. So a little bit of a background sa akin is psych student ako. Recently graduated lang last week. Last week ako nag-graduate. Pero around February or March, I made a decision na mag-upskill sa data analytics field. In particular, nalaman ko na feeling ko kasi hindi para sa akin yung naging course ko kaya napapili ako kung paano ako magtra-transition sa tech field. Yung pinakaunang naisip ko is something related sa statistics. Nagulat ako na meron something actually related sa statistics or sa mismong data sa tech field. And here we are. Naka-produce naman ako ng data analytics project na end-to-end. Thankfully, habang nagma-mockboards ako, I was studying SQL during my free time and studying Excel as well. So for today, I will be presenting yung project na to and bakit muna yung project na to. So I picked the Pokemon dataset not only because na rich siya sa data, marami tayong makukuhang insights dito and marami tayong makukuhang insights and marami tayong malalaman na bago in regards towards this game. Pero also, since first project ko siya, gusto ko siyang mag-serve as practice ko and as well as na practice ko and as well as makagawa ako ng project na somewhere close sa puso ko. Yun nga, about me, I'm an avid gamer. I love video games. I actually play a lot of League of Legends in my spare time. Initially, I wanted to do something related sa TFT. Kaso, napaisip ako ano yung pinaka entry level para ano, since yung skill set ko, it's not up to par yet. And ayun, so I picked the Pokemon dataset. So a little bit about our data. So generations 1 to 8 yung inanalyze natin dito and I analyze yung trends when it comes to stats, typing, growth patterns. Tapos para makapag-produce tayo ng actionable insights kapag gusto natin maglaro ng Pokemon, in particular sa generations 1 to 8. So, yung purpose lang talaga nito is ma-present or mapakita na kung ano yung natutunan ko so far. Yung tools na used ko is SQL, Python, Excel, and Tableau. So, so nagsimula ako sa pagkuha ng dataset sa Kaggle. Dito ako nanguha ng dataset. So, nung nakuha ko yung dataset, syempre, i-inspect natin yung dataset para mapakita kung ano ba yung kailangan natin gawin. Ma-prepare ba natin siya, ma-verify yung data, at saka yung integrity niya bago tayo mag-conduct ng analysis. So, sa Excel ako nag-produce ng data cleaning and pre-processing. Tapos sa SQL yung data wrangling and export. So doon yung data transformation. Doon ako nag-produce ng mga queries at mga separate na Excel files para sa analysis na ikaw-conduct sa Python. So for Python, ang mga ginamit kong libraries is Pandas, Seaborn, Matplotlib, NumPy, and Scikit-learn. Scikit-learn para makapag-normalize ako ng data. So, ito yung end project niya. Ito siya actually. So here you go. Makikita mo there are 4 tabs for the dashboard. So the first tab is the landing page. So yung landing page, pinapakita niya lang yung overall objectives ng project, yung brief project description, and yung about the data and Pokemon across generations. So kita mo naman, yung objectives natin dito is we have 10 business objectives or well, personal objectives in this case. We have top types by stats, population growth, dual type analysis, a status comparison, a stat trends over time, strength versus catch rate, so a correlation analysis, type-based averages and growth rate by type, top 10 strongest Pokemon based on total stats, and top Pokemon per stat. So a little bit about the tools and the workflow. Ito yung mga queries after ng data cleaning. So ito yung data cleaning natin. Yung raw CSV file, nakita ko siya, tas madaming mga columns that wouldn't be helpful in the analysis that I planned. So I removed a total of 30 columns from the dataset. Then I changed the null values or some null values into 0 to represent unknown or genderless. So kapag hindi natin alam, The others, nilagay ko siya as -1 since kapag no data exists yet for base experience or not available. So that's for null handling sa SQL. Tapos we have yung none. So categorical naman yung none. Ginawa ko na lang siya kasi wala siyang naka-null value siya. So instead of null, ginawa ko siyang none. So three ways ko hinandle yung null values in the dataset. So we have the data wrangling and yung database setup in SQL. So gumawa ako ng isang table with the following columns. After nun, I started querying based on the objectives. So yung first objective, I have had a total of 3 queries. So yung first query is average stats by primary type, group the data by type 1 to learn which primary types are the strongest. So naka-utilize ako dito ng mga basic functions natin, which is yung select from, group by, and order by. We can skip a lot of these, pero one interesting query that I did here is yung strongest type combination. So yung query na to is it ran to find out which combinations of types are the strongest. So, take note lang na yung query na ginamit natin, gumamit tayo ng mga case and when, so mga if-else statements. So, if it is type 2 or if type 2 is none, then then you just put type 1. Pero if type 1 is greater than type 2, then i-concat natin siya or else i-concat natin ng type 2 over type 1. So, ano yung purpose nun? Kung titingnan natin dito, wait, asan yung results? Stat and type performances. Yep. Ayan. So most common dual types, kung papansinin mo, is yung lexicographically na nauuna na letter. So, syempre mauuna yung A over B, B over C. Usually, siya yung magiging primary type sa typing. Kasi ang mangyayari, magdo-double yung categories, which is, ganun yung pag-handle natin sa scenario na yun. Okay, so far, ayun, yun yung pinaka-interesting part ng data querying ko since yun yung pinaka nakakaibang solution. And also dito, yung sa relationship of catch rate and Pokemon strength. So this is used later on for a correlation analysis para sa heat map na gusto nating gawin. So dito nagamit yung -1. At saka, okay. At saka finally, sa objective number 10, yung top 10 Pokemon, so gumamit lang tayo ng basic na window function which is dense rank. So yung dense rank, ipinapartition niya yung information per stat ordered by value descending. So kinuha nila yung top 10. So top 10 na naka-rank na Pokemon. Kasi yung difference naman ng dense rank
Okay
pati
na yung
yung rank
printer?
sa window function in SQL is
Yan.
yung pag-handle nila ng mga similar values. Si dense rank, hinahandle niya as instead of rank 1 2 3 3 rank 1 2 3 3 tapos magsa-skip into 5, it's gonna become rank 1 2 3 3 tapos 4 yung next. Ganun yung pag-handle niya. So, ayun. Okay, so we're done with the data cleaning and the data wrangling. So, here, dito, I just practiced a few Python libraries. I practiced a few Python libraries for the visualization aspect. So we use pandas for data frame manipulation, NumPy for numbers, Matplotlib, and Seaborn for the data visualizations itself. Tapos sklearn or scikit-learning library siya used for a lot of data science. Yung use case ko siya dito is nag-normalize kasi ako ng data for the heat map. So here are a lot of analyzation from Python. One of the hardest visual that I made is the spider chart since naghalap lang ako dito ng online na format at up until I reached to this point. After after nun, we can start with the dashboarding. So, yung process ko through dashboarding is I actually started by I started by creating yung tabs kung saan ko siya mahati-hati. So, nilayout ko muna yung mga charts na gusto kong gawin. And pansin mo nga, meron tayong static images. So, static images from Python. Nag-practice ako doon ng data visualization natin doon. Tapos, meron din tayong mga interactive charts sa Tableau. So, ayun, hinati ko siya from stat and type performances sa home page natin, which is yung landing page, our Pokemon highlights and stat trends and distribution and meta. Okay, so as you can see here, the home page or the landing page, so in terms of feature engineering, for every time na click natin yung navigation panes natin, it changes color para lang mas easy sa eyes natin, maintindihan natin kung saan tayo exactly. So let's start with the tour of the dashboard. So we have stat and type performances. So for this page, we have four charts. Yung first chart is yung top 5 type combos by average stats. So gumawa ako ng spider chart dito. Ito yung naka-normalize na data. Ang makikita natin dito is, so within the top 5 Pokemon, usually the strongest is any Pokemon that has the dragon type. So this is probably the reasoning for that is sa game design kasi usually dragon types have the highest semi-legendaries. So as you can see, um kapag may psychic type din, so psychic type usually mataas yung special attack nila. So total stats, single versus dual types across generations, ang makikita natin na trend dito is that dual type Pokemons are generally stronger. So if gusto mong gumawa ng composition ng Pokemon team, usually mas maganda yung may dual types. So average total stats by primary type. So makikita natin dito yung trend na if yung primary type nila is, for example, Dragon, usually sila yung pinakamadaming total stats. So yung top 3 natin dito is Dragon, Psychic, and Steel. So your average base stats by primary type, it's still the same. But we get more information out of this kasi we can see the actual stats na stick out per type. So makikita natin is sa dragon types, medyo mataas yung average attack niya. Yung psychic types, sila yung may pinakamataas na average special attack. Yung rock types, they have one of the highest average defense, and yung steel is the highest defense. Okay, so for Pokemon highlights and stat trends. So here, I wanted to show the top 10 Pokemon by total stats, the correlation analysis of catch rate versus stats, and who has the highest stat who has the highest stat per Pokemon. So dito, HP, attack, defense, special defense, and speed. So, throughout this, ang makikita natin si Eternatus Eternamax. Apparently, siya yung strongest na Pokemon in 3 domains, which is HP, defense, and special defense. For Blissey, highest siya in HP. Mega Mewtwo X is highest in attack. Mega Mewtwo Y is highest in special attack. And speed is Deoxys speed form. So, ito yung top 10 Pokemon by total stats. So, actually, kinolor code ko to for Eternatus Eternamax, or for each legendary Pokemon. Kinuha ko yung color scheme nila para magkakulay, yung chart niya or yung bar is magkakulay sa mismong Pokemon. So here's the top 10 Pokemon. We have Eternatus Eternamax. And in top 2, so may tie tayo sa top. May tie tayo sa top 2. It's a 3-way tie with Mewtwo X or Mega Mewtwo X, Mega Mewtwo Y, and Mega Rayquaza. And for the following, it's Primal Kyogre and Primal Groudon. So usually, bakit same lang yung stats or same yung strength nila? This is actually accurate in terms of, historically speaking, on how the story is designed. Si Groudon and Kyogre, usually they are considered as rivals within the story. So this makes complete sense. Ultra Necrozma is the following, and with Zamazenta Shield and Zacian Sword, and with Arceus. So interestingly enough, si Arceus we would expect that Arceus is the strongest Pokemon in the video games, but he is not due to the additions na meron yung mga ibang Pokemon to. Meron silang mga Mega Max, meron silang mga Eternamax, and so on and so forth. So, makikita rin natin dito is we have a relationship of catch rate and total stat points. So, meron siyang correlation of negative 0.62. What does this mean? So, this basically means that there's an inverse relationship between catch rate and total stat points. So, as total stat points increase, catch rate decreases. What does that mean kapag naglalaro tayo? As usual, kapag naglalaro tayo, kapag mas malakas, mas mahirap siyang hulihin. Ganun lang yung ibig niya sabihin. So, for our outlier Pokemon, ito yung interesting na data point natin sa dataset is etong outlier Pokemon, he has the same catch rate as Magikarp,
Pwede na
which is
rin.
also the strongest Pokemon, which is Eternatus Eternamax. So, why is this? I did a little bit of digging. So, apparently, in one of the games kasi, necessary na makatch si Eternatus
Ah,
Eternamax para makapag-progress ka sa game. So, limited playability lang siya, pero siya yung strongest Pokemon and easiest to catch as well. So we have our stat trends across generation. Ang makikita natin dito throughout the designing phase of Pokemon, usually highest yung attack and
buti
lowest yung
okay
speed.
siya kahit hindi compatible ng
So
magkaiba ng Windows. 10
the
tsaka
next part
11.
is yung distribution and meta. So I created a
Hindi, I
stacked
mean nga,
bar
yun
chart
di ba
here
sabi mo sa
to
network?
represent kung ilan yung mga dual types or single types per generation. So makikita natin siya na through generation 6 to 8
Eh, di ba dati meron pa?
dumami yung ratio ng dual types in comparison towards single types. So baka may shift lang sa game design. And makikita natin na mas konti yung Pokemon na ini-introduce after Generation 5. Which makes sense kasi masyado na madami yung Pokemon. So, meron tayong most common dual types para lang malaman natin kung sino yung pinaka frequent na occurring na dual type. So, it's usually yung flying, grass and poison, or mga bug and flying. So, flying, grass, bug and poison yung mga pinakamataas. So, what does that mean in terms of yung growth rate sila?
Maanggi ah.
Weaker Pokemon tend to be more common. Yun lang yung ibig sabihin nun. So, how many Pokemon were added per generation? So, this is nearly the same metric as this, pero ito nakahati lang siya per dual or single type. So we have stat profiles by Pokemon classification. So we have four Pokemon classifications kasi. Number one is normal. We have the sub-legendary, legendary, and mythical. I actually asked a friend what's the difference between these four. So mythical is a little bit more different when iba siya kesa sa mga legendaries and sub-legendary. So they're a bit rarer than sub-legendaries, which makes sense kasi they are stronger than the sub-legendaries. So yeah. Um and also here we have two heat maps actually. So ito correlation matrix to. Dito mo ma-visualize yung
Ay, ikaw bahala ka.
yung dual types across. So naka color gradient siya. And makikita mo pa rin yung flying and yung normal Pokemon yung pinaka common. So after that, we have yung Pokemon types and its distribution across growth rate. So yung main insight natin dito is that yung mga bug Pokemons, medium fast yung growth rate nila. So usually, the weaker Pokemons are faster in growth and the stronger Pokemons are slower in growth rate. Okay, so let's go towards the okay, here is the recommendations for future analysis. So yung actionable insights natin dito is we should prioritize Dragon, Psychic, and Steel types for high-performing teams. We should use dual types more. I-expect mo na gagamit ka ng mas malakas na Pokeball kapag mas malakas yung Pokemon. Tapos, yung mga medium fast growth rate kung gusto mo ng mabilis na leveling for Pokemon. So, for future analysis, what we can take into consideration or analyze deeper is yung interactions ng abilities and natures ng Pokemons para malaman natin kung gaano yung para sa competitive Pokemon playing. Analyzation of move sets and versatility. Tapos, we can add Generation 9. May Generation 9 na ba ng Pokemon? I'm not sure. So, tsaka yung comparing ng usage rates in competitive formats. So, pwede natin i-analyze kung ano yung mga, anong klaseng team yung ginagamit ng mga top players ng Pokemon. So yeah, I think na-cover naman entirely yun. So final thoughts lang guys. Be kind. This is my first full stack project. I just wanted to show it. It's one of my it's a big achievement for me kasi I'm a psych student and wala talaga akong technical background. So from scratch, ito yung first na na-produce ko. So I learned a lot when it comes towards exploratory data analysis, storytelling, and design, and hopefully I'm gonna learn more. Tapos hopefully this would serve as encouragement for beginners like me na somebody that has a zero background can create can create something in the tech field, even if na initially I started from scratch. I started from zero. I didn't know what SQL was. I didn't know what lead code was, GitHub, Kaggle. I didn't know any of these. Yun lang. And also that we don't need a large data set to show a complete story or a meaningful story. So yun lang guys. We can proceed towards the Q&A if you have any questions with the data set. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Hi, Junjun. Thank you so much. Ang galing mo. Teka ha. I-invite ko lang si Ma'am Sandy dito sa stage kasi, ayan. I'm sure marami siyang mako-comment and, ayan. Ma'am Sandy, I already invited you.
Hello?
Yes, Ma'am Sandy, you're good.
Okay. I'm just so happy.
Ang galing niya,
I'm
Ma'am,
just
di
so
ba?
happy.
Thank you. Nakaka-validate
I'm
talaga
just
sobra
so
kasi
happy.
first time to.
Parang hindi
This is
naman.
such an inspiring presentation for people. Oh, I think you're inspiring. If your objective is to inspire people to present even with zero background, I think you have achieved it. So good job.
You aced it, Sir June. Ang galing
Oh,
mo.
thank you.
Ma'am Sandy, may comment ka
Hopefully,
dun sa ano niya?
And coming from a job application perspective kasi, and his objective is different. His objective is to inspire people to start talking about their projects. So, medyo hindi aligned yung objectives namin. So, I'll just ask how you started and then what were the biggest challenges for you and then how will you proceed from here because this is really a very good presentation. I'm just wondering what you will do next.
okay, so personally, my plans is I hope I'm actually enrolled in a boot camp right now and uh awaiting ako sa hopefully sa data camp scholarship kasi gusto ko pa rin mag-upskill in my free time. So, yun nga, the
Oh,
hardest part.
oh, okay, sorry. Let me interrupt. Anybody who volunteers for Data Masters is automatically given a Data Camp scholarship.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Automatic
Yay!
yon. Yes.
I didn't know that.
Anybody who volunteers to present. Oh, I
Ayan,
thought that was
oo.
we ever since last year, whoever presents is automatically granted a Data Camp scholarship.
Oh, I didn't know that kasi I only entered the data engineering Filipinos community last month. So, wala talaga
All
akong
right. Okay,
masyadong
okay.
knowledge sa community and I'm really happy that there is a very supportive Filipino community para dito kasi yun
Uh,
nga to the challenges pinakamahirap na side sa akin nun is a little bit more about myself is throughout university. So, 'di ba nakapag-decide ako mag-shift sa tech field later on, like this might be something I would want to do as work in the future, is that fourth year na ako, gagraduate na ako. So, hindi na practical na mag-restart ng degree, 'di ba, or diploma. Background ko is psychology, so I've dealt with data sets or quantitative and qualitative data in regards sa research side ng psychology. So, a lot of human behavior and so on and so forth. So, may psychometrics kami. So, meron naman akong konting background when it comes to statistics. Pero sobrang kulang ng ano ng sobrang kulang ng ah,
I know,
ng knowledge
kulang. I
ko,
get it.
kulang knowledge ko
Kulang,
sa
I
tech,
get it.
talaga sobrang kulang.
You don't have to
Kasi
explain. Kulang nga. And in fact, there are a lot of blogs that are saying that. So that's why Data Engineering Pilipinas is here to encourage people to do this, make their own projects, avail of this Data Masters initiative by Ma'am Kata. So
mm,
everybody, please join. Follow the example of June. Wait, June or
yeah,
June?
June. So
June. Yeah,
around
follow the example of June.
one of the main challenges during my university is kasi graduating na ako, actually part ako ng three organizations in my school. Tapos nung napag-decidean ko mag-transition is nag-internship ako nun sa industrial setting. Tapos after nun, nagre-review na kami for mock board. So habang nagle-lecture kami for mock boards after school, minsan pupunta lang ako ng Leet Code para mag-aral ng konting SQL. Uh, Throughout this entire process, halos self-study siya. Tinapos ko yung Google Data Analytics project kahit makatapos lang ng isa pang video, just one more. Yun yung naging mentality ko. I just want to learn one thing every day at least. Up until I reach this point. When I was about to finish the Google Data Analytics certification, yung naging mentality ko nun is, madalas daw kasi, kulang daw yung certification para mag-land ng entry level na work. Which is, it makes sense. Naging realistic naman ako. So instead of using the project sa Google Data Analytics, I started to take matters in my own hands na, okay, let's do something out of the blue. Let's do something that I like. Since kung gagawa na lang din ako ng personal project, I might as well do something that I am interested in and something that is
Yes.
fun, maybe lighthearted, kesa naman na gagawa ako ng specific na dashboard. So,
Yes.
um,
Yes, I
ayun,
agree. And it's what we've been supporting all this time. What's we've been posting all this time. Do a project that's about something that's part of your passion, whether it's Pokemon or anything at all. Just as long as there's data, and there's data everywhere. So,
y-
if it's like, if you're obsessed with shoes and you want to look at models of shoes, ang daming shoes. Or if you're obsessed with cell phones, you get a data set with cell phones, ang dami pwede gawin.
mm,
So, I agree with that. That's how we want. You're doing what we want people to do. Focus on your on, make a project, present it, and you've done all of these incredibly well. So, congratulations.
I also would want to ask for any feedback on like improving as I move forward kasi yung end goal pa din naman talaga is I want to do this personal project for fun and as well as learning how to learning how to present, making a personal project that might show a particular skill set in terms of like finding a job in the future as well.
Okay. Your confidence is already 100%, so I don't have any
Yes.
comments on that. It's really good. My Okay, for the interviews though, I don't know if you're going to do it in Taglish. So when we started this last year, we said everything, all of the presentations will be done 100% in English. But I do understand that people who are starting out don't want that kind of pressure on themselves. May mga comment na nosebleed daw, ganyan. But actually,
Oh,
in real life, when you do an interview with a recruiter, you don't really do Taglish. That's a
oh,
no-no.
Oh yeah, that's actually something that I did in consideration for the audience. So while I was profiling data engineering Pilipinas and the community, it seems like a lot of us are talking in Taglish, in a Taglish or in a Filipino format. So I tried to adjust the presentation based on the audience. So inisip ko kasi know your audience kapag presentation, but I'm very
Sure. No,
comfortable
no
with
problem. No
going full
problem.
English as well.
No problem. Okay. So you were asking for tips for the next project. That's one of my tips. Uh, you can preface it with, okay, I will be doing complete 100%. this time because I've done the Taglish before. Now I'll do 100% English. So I want to practice this because, for example, I'm targeting a multinational company or I'm targeting some job in England, for example, or in Australia. So I really, really need this 100% English practice. But in your case, it's okay because you were trying to present something that you're passionate about. And you didn't say it was really for a job interview. It was just to show and to inspire people that you can do something, you can do an end-to-end project with a topic that's close to your heart. And you've achieved that. So that's different. Now, my comment is just for the future because he asked for the future. No, I'm not saying this one is bad. It's really good. And my comment is for the okay. This one is fine. Uh, what else? Your confidence is fine. Your English is fine. Normally, when we present, we have a roadmap for people to follow. For example, for this topic, I will do one, two, three. When you do PowerPoint presentations, you always have like this thing on the left side. Even in the tutorials, you will see that. This is how we will do this course. First is the data wrangling. Second is the correlations. Third is the visualization. So people know where they are or where you are in your presentation, and they will look at their watches and say, okay, if you were allotted 30 minutes for this, they will say, okay, I expect around 10 minutes for this part, 10 minutes for this part, 10 minutes for this part. So again, my comment is for the future. It's not for this. This
Okay,
one
yeah,
is
I
very good.
understand.
Okay, so that's how we normally do it. And then so we put the conclusions in the front, and then we talk about all the points within the body of the presentation, and then we recap with a summary. So to summarize, these are the things I'd like to leave you with. For example, Pokemon, whatever, whatever, Gen 9 is like this, like that. So how is it actionable for me? What is the call to action? When you play Pokemon, make sure you get this, or whatever.
Okay.
Okay, wrong example because this is Pokemon. Something like, for example, if you're doing an analysis in healthcare. So what I was able to demonstrate was there should be some efficiencies in terms of vacancies, et cetera, et cetera. There should be a good turnaround of from diagnosis to discharge and all that stuff. So there should be some kind of structure so that you guide people what what they will think about. I don't know if you saw my presentation last Wednesday. That's how I did it. So I talk about 6 points. I will discuss 6 points. One salary, two careers, three tools, four DEP tools, five free resources, and six about the community. So people know where you are in the presentation already. So I'm in point number 6. I'm in point number 7. To recap, yan. So there's a clear structure. For you, there was a structure also, but I guess, again, this objective of this was different. So if you want to do something in the future that's more structured, you can follow that.
We really missed you in
Ah,
Data
ano pa
Masters, Ma'am
kata?
Sandy. We miss your insights.
Okay.
You've been gone for so long in Data Masters. 'Di ba?
Paminsan-minsan.
I'm really
Okay,
happy na
I think I
nandito
will
ka.
leave the stage now.
Ay, ma'am,
I
may
can leave the
tanong pa
stage
si
now.
ano.
Kwentuhan na lang kayo.
Ma'am Sandy, meron
Ano?
akong inakyat. Si Maddie may question. You might want to answer first.
Hello. Hello guys. Hello, good evening. Hi June. I really first of all, I enjoyed yung presentation talaga. It's really it's great no looking at a passion project and then for it to be so detailed and to be so well just really enjoyable presentation. So I had fun in. So I have a question. So Miss Sandy, Miss Kata, would you recommend someone like me or someone like June na walang prior or undergrad degree related sa statistics to take masters in applied statistics just so may boost kami sa aming career or is well data camp
Ah,
is data camp enough? Yeah. Yun.
Actually, I tackled that. That was one of the points in the presentation last Wednesday. Based on the survey data that we have, it doesn't automatically follow that if you have a master's, you'll proceed. But this is all from the perspective of salary ranges. So I presented a salary range chart in the tableau from lower salary range all the way up to the higher salary range. And what we found, based on data that the community submitted, you don't, there's some people who have master's degrees but are still on the lower end of the salary range. And there are people who are in the higher end of the salary range, but they also have masters. So it doesn't, the point is, it doesn't automatically follow. So what do you do now? What is your passion? If you feel like further studies would boost your confidence or would fill up gaps that you feel like you have, then go ahead, do that. Lots of people do that. Some people don't. Some people want to piece together the or put together some other CVs, list of CV certifications like cloud certification or whatever because that's their passion. So to recap, it's all up to you. It goes back to you. What do you really, really want to have an applied stats background? Remember, masters will talk about all of the theoretical stuff, not just application. But if it's applied stats, then maybe if that's your passion, then by all means go ahead. If you have the money, go ahead.
Yes po.
Okay.
Hello, I have an additional question. So, Miss Sandy, I wanted to know in terms of the job hunting process. So, I'm currently taking a boot camp, so I hopefully I can add a few mini projects here and there to showcase that I have the necessary skills. Uh, what are your general advice if, as I try to look for a job in the future, since the job hunting process is
Ako,
brutal,
Kata,
guys.
ang hirap naman ng question.
Guys, the job hunting process is brutal. It's I'm not having fun.
Hindi, makita mo na nga sa mga chat eh, talagang mahirap. It's hard. What is my advice? Ang dami doon actually eh. Sa chat, isa-summarize ko ba? Sobrang dami. Malawak siya. It's a really, really big topic. So, pwede bang, ano na lang, ano ba yan? What do I advise? Marami na yan, di ba, no, Kata? Kata, help me.
Yes, actually, talagang kahit yung mga professionals na they really find it hard sometimes to look for jobs talaga. So, it's a battle of ano talaga. Ah,
I
kaya
do
yung
have a
Oo.
advice
advantage
pala.
sa atin yung exposure natin, connections, we get to know people in the field, lalo na kung ano ka, ah, active ka sa group, marami ka makikilala talaga ng mga
Tama,
professionals.
tama, tama, tama. Connection.
Yes,
Correct, correct.
connection.
Na, gets ko na. My answer will be based on the survey. That we asked again, what are the tools that they use to get their current job? So, number one, LinkedIn. Number two, networking. Kasi yung number three, medyo mababa na yung mga Indeed, ganyan, ganyan, ganyan. So, talagang top two, mga ano ba yan, 70+%, ganyan. They found success through LinkedIn and 60+% yat, ano ko, I forgot the numbers, but they're really big. So, talagang connect kayo. Connect, LinkedIn, connect. Yan. That's my biggest tip. Based on the survey results, those are the things that will give you the highest chances for success. It's not 100% ha, mga X%, di ba? You're a statistician, you know, probably, but to get the highest probability of success, go to LinkedIn and connect here, be active in the community.
And I do have a follow-up advice then since I'm already working then. And like my advice would be well to start really small. Like if you since fresh grad ka, you might want to look for jobs na hindi talaga nagre-require like for example for you to create um to know SQL talaga, to know Tableau. Maybe you can look for jobs muna na you can just create yung parang Excel, spreadsheets, just clean data. What else? Like yung simple data analysis or data clean or data manipulation lang. It doesn't have to be like that na parang you need to create charts or graphs. Since fresh grad ka, I started lang then with as a digital marketing specialist then. So, nagma-manipulate din ako na analytics, marketing analytics, and it's my first time. So, like, hindi pa ako talaga nagtatablo SQL sa current work ko. So, my suggestion would be to not
Okay lang
really look
yan.
for, like, just chill lang. Like, just look
Okay
for
lang.
yung experience na talaga, start small. And then, once nandun ka na, nakapasok ka na, create ka na, dun ka na mag-start ng mag-build ng kung ano yung pwede mo gawin within that company, kung ano yung pwede mo i-perform, i-automate mo for them, mga ganun bang stuff. So, yun. No pressure talaga na to know everything. Since fresh ka pa lang. Start small.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Sir Jun, ikaw baka may comment ka?
Well, ang dami na nag-request to speak.
Ay, invite ko lang. Ay, meron pa bang ano? In-invite ko lang sila actually. Teka.
Sige, sige.
Ah, eto
Go.
si Kuya Pete. Wait, I'll invite him.
Hello?
Hi, Sir Jun. Yes, sir.
Hello?
Any comments, sir?
Yeah. Yeah, maganda naman yung considering na parang hindi naman talaga niya linya. But one thing though, I just would like to know what's the next step? What's your plan? How are you going to go to the next level? Is there any
So
plan on
there is po.
integrating AI?
I continue
Yeah,
po.
I asked this kasi sa um, in my line of work, or especially sa company namin, ang mga data analyst nag-evolve sila eh. Gumagamit sila ng AI. Although hindi na nag-hire, supposedly magdagdag ng headcount. And then since they are now using uh, agentic AI, so kumbaga ang AI na yung mag data wrangling, data cleaning, pati yung visualization and all. So parang wala na talaga silang kumbaga ah, focus sila ngayon sa problem solving, insights. Although AI na ang magbibigay ng insights, more on presentation na lang talaga, magpe-present sila kung ano yung findings. So yun yung nagiging direction. Maganda yung alam na yung foundation, paano ginawa manually, pero kung samahan mo ng AI, marami kasing ah, naniniwala na hype pa rin yung AI, pero sa company namin, diyan nag-revolve yung namin, mga work kasama. That is why uh, nag-wonder ako kung meron ka bang plan to use AI para gumawa ng yung sa mga ADA.
Yan.
So one of the things that we can
Napaisip
use,
tuloy ako.
one of the things na pwedeng gamitin pang data analysis is yung Julius AI. Yan yung pwedeng gamitin. Pero sa amin, more on internal tool. Meron kaming team, na focus na nagde-develop ng mga ganong klaseng tool. In fact, yung TQ, kasi nasa call center kami, pero hindi naman ako nagtitake ng call. More on software development kami. Meron kasi kaming full-time na development team. Although global yung scope, maraming mga team, hindi lang isa. Yun nga lang, medyo silo, may kanya-kanya silang focus. Pero one of the projects is yung pag-provide ng tool, especially pang data analysis. So, yun. Magiging steep ang kompetensya dahil wala nang new hire eh. Kumbaga, freeze talaga. Kung ano yung meron na nandun, sila na yung upskill. So, sila na
So
yung
on a
mismo
hopeful
gagawa.
note, sorry. So on a
Yeah, go
hopeful
ahead. Sorry.
note, I think what you're saying is parang brush up on value-added skills aside from the technical skills. Tama ba?
Tama. Tama. Kumbaga, sa amin, normally ang gumagawa ng mga data analytics is yung ang WFM at saka yung training and quality team. Sila yung ano talaga, kumbaga, sasabihin natin, bubog. Pero since meron ng tool, meron ng AI, so sila na yung gumagawa mismo ng AI assistant nila. Gumagawa sila ng workflow, kumbaga ini-empower talaga sila na gumamit ng tool. So parang ano na, mawawala na yung manual na okay, I'm going to do ADA. Meron akong kasama doon yung data wrangling, data cleaning. Ang gagawin na lang is yun nga, pa-prompt ka or meron ng tool na readily gagamitin nila na through AI na lang, kakausapin nila na yung AI tapos i-upload nila yung dataset nila tapos sasabihan na lang yung AI, okay, I want to have insights on this, ganun. Kumbaga conversational na yung yung pag
Yes.
kuha ng insights, hindi na yun parang manual. Kasama na din kasama na rin yung data cleaning na sinasabi ko. And then visualization, kasama na rin doon sa AI. Makukuha na rin ng AI. And then yung data cleaning, pwede niyang i-download. Kunyari, may dataset ka, marumi yung dataset na yon, lilinisin niya, tapos convert niya into Excel kung gusto mo Excel or text file in a form of CSV, and then
Yan, may question
ida-download.
si Kuya Pete June Miano. Anong gamit nyo sa company nyo AI tool, sir? Kung pwede mong sabihin.
Yeah, internal. In fact,
Internal
publicly
AI. Okay.
known siya, pero merong customer facing na AI, meron ding employee facing. So yung employee facing, yun yung ginagamit ng entire team. Kumbaga from agent, pwede nilang gamitin yan. And then they can create their own AI assistant. So yung flagship namin is yung tinatawag na IX Hello, which is available yan siya I mean sa lahat na employee.
Okay.
Hindi naman
Okay.
bawal sabihin talaga. That's why I tried to share it with the team.
Oh, good.
Although
That's a
merong
good input, no? Be well versed in AI also because the work is changing. So we need, just to summarize, I think we need the basics also because we can't just take all of the input from AI as is. They make mistakes. So
tama.
you'll know how to check the work of the AI. And secondly, you will have to go above and beyond because the AI won't give the recommendations to the business. It's up to you to do it. Or they might give you a list of recommendations based on your analysis, and you're still the one who has to decide what the organization should take or should follow.
Yeah, parang ano pa rin,
Correct.
trust and verify. Kumbaga, i-verify pa rin kung tama ba yung binigay
Yes.
ng AI.
Yes.
Hindi naman siya
Kasi we're not
entirely
yet
na
there. Even yeah, we're not yet
correct.
there. Even the AI agents, uh, I recently used one. Well, the one I use is really, really good. As in, it self-corrects. First, it produces a code and then it corrects. Oh, by the way, I made a mistake here, so it self-corrects again. And then it self-corrects again. So it does it, the iteration by itself. So it removes all of the the verification. Like normally, you
Correct.
you run the code, there's an error, you plug it as a prompt, there's another error, you plug it
Anong
as a
AI
prompt. So
yan, Ma'am
there's an
Sandy?
iteration.
Anong AI yan, Ma'am
Yes.
Sandy?
Parang may
Sa
reflection siya.
Replit.
Ah,
Replit.
replay.
And then finally, it self-corrected itself until it finally produced a working model
Are you using
for
the
me.
free, ano lang? Or
Oo,
paid?
kaya minsan ko lang nagamit. Kasi libre lang.
Okay.
Alam mo naman
Merong
tayo,
commercial
mahilig
na
sa free tier.
Yes, yes.
merong merong commercial na I mean free tool siya pero meron ding parang premium which is yung Julius AI. Yan yung data analytics din na tool. Although
Oo.
merong ibang mga libraries pero ikaw pa ang magpo-program. Pero pag ready-made na, we can use Julius AI naman.
Okay. Ngayon ko lang
Okay, I
nga
think,
narinig
yeah,
yun ah.
that's a good point. Good point, good point.
Yes, dami nating natutunan ngayon.
Oo nga.
Balik
Ikata,
tayo dun
sorry
sa tanong kay Jun. Jun, what's the next step? What's your game?
Okay, so the next step for me is yun nga, nagulat ako may scholarship pala sa Datacam kapag nag-present. Di ko po talaga alam. Gusto ko lang mag-present para experience. Mag-upskill ako through Datacamp and nag-upskill din ako through a bootcamp that I already enrolled in. Tapos hopefully after 6 months, na-try ko na mag-transition into a data-related role. For now actually, I'm looking for a job. Wala, kaka-graduate ko lang. Thankfully, sa awa ng Diyos, na-graduate ako ng Latin Honors. Pero wala palang epekto yung Latin Honors kapag naghahanap ka na ng trabaho. So, ayun. I plan on upskilling for the next 6 months. Hopefully, if may mahanap akong work na related sa data, most likely I'd be happy with that. Upskill sa data camp, create an additional project through the bootcamp. Kasi yun, meron naman mga mini projects, ilista ko na lang siya sa portfolio. Tapos apply lang ng apply.
That's good to
Ayun
know.
po.
good plan.
And then do not forget to include yung sa upskilling mo yung AI. Kumbaga meron mang what you call this um, sasabihin natin meron pang kailangang i-improve ang AI pero we're getting there.
Opo, I really agree. Napakalapit sa akin ng AI and I'm looking for ways to study it more as well. Sadyang wala lang akong actual task na pwedeng gawin para mapakita yung improvements ko through the utilization of AI. Kasi yung entirety ng self-study process ko na nung na-produce ko po yung dashboard na yan is parang naging best friend ko si ChatGPT kasi yun nga, naghanap ako ng online resources para mag-aral since wala akong kilala masyado sa community or sa field ng tech. Kaya yun nilapitan ko muna is yung generative AI, tapos nakita ko yung mga nuances niya, paano siya mag-hallucinate, kung anong magandang gawin para pag nagpa-prompt ka, yun po.
Normally ngayon may bagong term na ngayon yung prompt engineering. Ni coin ni Karpati yung context engineering. So yun na yung next level na prompt engineering which is yung context engineering. That is if you wanted to yung direction mo, let's say if you are going to go data analytics, it cannot be discounted na kailangan mong gumamit talaga ng AI. Like kung gusto mo ng may konting programming, you can use. Alam ko nagbago na yung pangalan ng Pandas AI. Pandas AI yan yung pang data analytics na library na pwede mong gamitin sa Python. And then ngayon marami ng mga in fact nung lumabas ang yung bago ngayon yung Kimi. So
Mm.
yun yung magandang gamitin mong model LLM para sa coding din which is kumbaga in fact most of my snippets na ginagawa ko ang AI yung pinapagawa ko, and then ginagawa ko lang na Lego na okay, ito yung kailangan ko na snippet. Tapos ipipaste ko doon sa ginagawa ko hanggang sa mabuo. So yun lang naman ang ano. Although meron kaming sariling AI talaga na may mga ready-made na mga templates na pwede mong gamitin. Pero mas maganda pa rin yung what I'm trying to do is para bang ano ba yung value? Ano ba yung value pa na pwede kong mai-offer para sa client na hinahandle ko. So more on automation kasi yung role ko. Mag-automate pero hindi siya limited to ano, pwede siyang walang AI, parang ano lang, standard lang. Then sa ngayon, kaming lahat walang exception kailangan AI power AI powered na yung pinapaano sa amin. So that is why kung mag-a-apply ka man, mas maganda na may alam ka talaga sa AI kasi yan yung hahanapin talaga na okay may experience ka ba sa AI, which is I don't know sa ibang company pero sa amin nire-require talaga yan. Pero pag kung halimbawa managerial naman, kailangan mo meron kang certification sa Six Sigma. Yan yung pinaka ano talaga. Mayroon kang
Sir Jun,
Six Sigma na
excuse
yes.
Sir Jun ha. I-insert ko lang si Sir Pete. Baka may gusto rin siyang sabihin.
Okay.
We only have 4 minutes until
Okay,
8 p.m.
thank you.
Thank you, Sir June.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay.
Sir Pete? Hello, Sir Pete. May gusto kang sabihin pa? Kuya Pete. Oh, okay. Wala palang mic si Kuya Pete. So, ayun, June, ayan. Thank you so much for your time, for presenting tonight. And, ayan, sobrang daming natutunan, insights from your presentation and also from our moderator, Ma'am Sandy, and other volunteer like Sir Jun Miano. O, ayan, thank you din kay Maddie. So, paano? End na natin yung session for tonight and we'll see you again on the next week pa. August 2,
Okay.
I think. Tama ba? 19 oh, tama. Next session will be on August 2. Ma'am Sandy, you have
Okay,
anything
thanks,
else to
Kata.
say?
Good job. Congrats.
Thank you, Ma'am Sandy, for
Thank
coming
you po.
by. Thank you. Good night,
Thank you po, Ma'am
everyone.
Sandy, Ma'am Sir June, and Miss
Thank you.
Kata. I really
Uh,
appreciate the experience.
yes, thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.